I am doubling down on the whole Terry McLaurin thing, meaning I am doubling down on the whole we need to pay Terry McLaurin thing. You know who I am. My name is Greg. I'm the host here on the Washington Football Maniacs. Of course, this channel is dedicated to the Washington Redskins. Am I being controversial? Whoa, maybe I am. Well, anyway, if you like this video, give it a like. If you like this channel, you know what to do. Subscribe, follow me, hit that notification bell, whatever else. Anyway, let's just get into it. Now, Greg, why are you doing this? This is going to completely change your attitude, and you won't be able to be the rah, 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 rah over one particular player. You're living like a maniac! If Terry is such a leader, why is he asking for a raise? Tell me that you have never asked for a raise in your entire life. Better yet, let's say that you are on contract at your job right now. You've got 6 months left before your contract runs out. You got hired during a time where the market was this figure, which is kind of where you got hired into, right? But in the last, let's say you worked a 3-year contract, and in that last year, you've gained all of these experiences, all of these skills. You have all of these accomplishments that you have done at your job, and you feel like you need to be paid for it. You would like to stay with the same company, maybe sign another 3 or 5 year deal, but you feel like at this point, I need to make a little more money based on my experience. So you are telling me that you have never asked for a raise, that you're just fine making the same amount of money, because even though that there's other people in your field that are much smarter than you, maybe they're much more innovative, you feel like, yeah, I'm not as good, I'm not as elite as those people, so I should be just fine. I should show my leadership of just sticking with this amount of money for the rest of my life, no matter what accomplishments I may have. That's exactly what you're saying. When you're trying to make it a point of, it's not showing leadership if Terry McLaurin is trying to hold out for a raise. Look at his accomplishments. Look how well he has played. Now, am I saying that Terry McLaurin is the most elite wide receiver in the league? No. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying he's top 5, but he is a fantastic, solid wide receiver. I may have mentioned that, he is knocking on the door of elite. That doesn't mean that he's actually amongst the elite, but he is definitely one of the most consistent, reliable wide receivers that you're going to have in the league. This comes from the coaching staff. This is not me making this up. If you want to question this, by all means, go talk to Dan Quinn, but it sounds to me like Mr. Terry McLaurin is one of those guys who's a leader. Yeah. He's one of those leaders in the locker room. You need leaders in the locker room. That's the reason why that the Washington Redskins right now are the oldest team in the league, or amongst the oldest team in the league, because they got some older gentlemen that actually is still playing pretty high level football, but they've grown into be leaders. And so it's good to have as many of those leaders within your locker room as possible. This guy goes on, the viewer basically says, given this 11-point diatribe, why he feels that Terry is not worth all of the money, all of the hype. He tells me about, you're going to be so angry when you have to change your attitude and not be so rah, 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 rah. Funny how he's not worried about changing his attitude if he's wrong. Guess what, geniuses? Neither am I. At the end of the day, Terry getting signed or getting traded has zero effect on my life. Zero. Now, yes, maybe it might have a little effect on the channel. Maybe there's going to be people who's going to come in and then they're going to scoot in right on there into the comment section and blow me up on that. And that is fine. Guess what? That's part of how sports is amongst fans. We talk junk. We get on a side and we're going to take that side and we're going to die on that hill until proven wrong, right? Greg, you need to listen to everything and follow in line with everything else that everybody else says. Well, you know what I say about that? Easy, Tiger. I'm merely giving my opinions, all right? I'm just giving my opinions. I think it's a good thing to re-sign Terry McLaurin. Why would it not be a good thing to re-sign Terry McLaurin? I mean, come on. The guy's consistent. He's made some big plays. He's played with what, over 9 quarterbacks since he's been in Washington. The guy's been nothing but consistent. You know, he's had over 1,000 yards receiving every single season. And yeah, I realize that season with how that, you know, they kind of had to manufacture those last few yards in a game at the end of the season just to make sure he got there. But he got there. He got there, didn't he? Now, let me tell you something. Here are the facts. I said Terry McLaurin was a captain. Facts. I said he was a locker room leader. Facts. I said he has been consistent. He has been a consistent player for the team since he donned that chief on the side of the helmet. I hope I didn't trigger the embrace the commander's brand, folks. Look, I'm only going by logical observations, all right? I've never seen the dude complain. Have you seen him complain? No. I've seen the dude play with multiple quarterbacks, like I said before. I think it was like, what, 9 quarterbacks since he came into the league in 2019. The dude has over 1,000 yards receiving every single season. I've seen Adam Peters sign and re-sign players who build positive cultures. Terry McLaurin would be one of them. Maybe he doesn't get an elite contract. And I know that I've talked about a certain contract, 3 years, $75 million. I don't think that's necessarily elite money because I think that the market is certainly dictating. It always dictates higher. You know, these players, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. I think that giving the structure of it would probably work. I don't think it's elite money. Hey, it's elite to me. I'll take it. And it's funny. It's really funny how those arguing Terry isn't worth it wants the very best trade the team can possibly get. Terry's not worth it. We need to get rid of him. He's not worth all the money that we're going to pay him. But by golly, I think if we can get, first rounder, second rounder for him, maybe trade for another star player, that's what we should do. So if he's worth an elite trade, why not just pay him money and keep him? I mean, you guys would crucify Adam Peters and Dan Quinn if Terry McLaurin left for a ham sandwich. Talk to the hand. Don't want to hear it. Don't paint me into the picture of being a rah-rah fan over a player. Because guess what? I wasn't rah-rah over Chase Young. They got rid of him. I really liked Montez Sweat, but did I cry when he left? Nope. Dude, come on. I'm not being rah-rah about assuming that Terry McLaurin is going to get signed or re-signed, I should say. I'm looking at this logically. Okay, logically, how would it help Washington to not sign Terry McLaurin, make him ride out the end of that contract? Because guess what? That's going to send a message. We feel like you are one of the cornerstone players of the team. Or at least we thought we did. We don't think enough of you to feel like that you're part of the future here. So we'll let you play one more season with us. Better make it a good season. Better make it a Super Bowl season. And then you guys are going to be like, oh, wow, the Vikings just really overpaid for Terry McLaurin. Oh, I mean, yeah, he made over 2,000 yards receiving. He had like 18 touchdowns and all that stuff. Yeah, they overpaid for that guy. They overpaid for him. This is what you're going to hear. And then later on, you're going to hear some of the some of the fans, some of the ones who are like, yeah, Terry's not worth it, being like, man, you know what? We shouldn't have given up Terry McLaurin. Don't crucify me, because I'm just giving you an opinion of like, here's what I think contract would look like if they re-sign Terry. This is why I feel like it makes sense to go ahead and re-sign Terry now. This is what's likely going to happen if you don't re-sign Terry before training camp. But from what I'm hearing, both Terry McLaurin's camp and the Washington football brass, they both want to come up with a deal because they want Terry McLaurin back. Terry wants to come back. They're just not quite sure on the money. Like I said in one of the other videos, the magic usually winds up happening in the 11th hour. You usually wind up getting these guys signed in the 11th hour. I think that's what's going to happen with Terry McLaurin. That's not a rah-rah. It's just my opinion. Don't get all high and mighty because you feel like you are a much better GM than anybody else, because you're not. I mean, give me your resume. I want to see how many NFL teams that you successfully GM'd to the Super Bowl. I bet it's equal to me. 0. Subscribe, hit that like button. You know you like this. You know you like this format of me getting a little maniacal. Is it maniacal? Maniacal? Well, it is the Washington football Maniacs, so I feel like I'm just getting a little, it's a little dull if I just sit here and just give you the news. I mean, this is really, honestly, this is more of my personality, so have at it. No, I have not been drinking except for my coffee, and guess what? I'm going to be late for work. I got to get to work in 4 minutes. See ya.